What's up guys, it's a beautiful day today here in Ely, so let's go and do Q&A out in the garden. So I said on my Instagram the other day that I'm going to do a Q&A today, and I got a great question, which is such a great question that I'm going to devote the whole of today's vlog to it. But first of all, before we get into the question, if you don't follow my Instagram, go and get your phone now and follow me, James Olsen Music. You need to come a bit closer. The whole point of my doing this vlog is I want to help you guys if you're interested in becoming a composer or learning about music, maybe you want to become a professional musician or composer. I can only do one of these vlogs a week, but I can give much more help, I think, over Instagram. Just give you little ideas here and there. James Olsen Music. Right, plug over. Okay, yeah, so Karina sent me a message on Instagram and said, hello James, my name's Karina, thank you very much for the opportunity. I really want to ask you, is it important and how important is it to find a teacher to study composition? Thanks a lot for your question, Karina. It's a great question, and there's quite a few things to say about this, so I'm going to break it up into 3 questions that you might want to ask yourself. So first of all, what do you want to achieve? Well, of course, no one's saying you have to get a composition teacher, and you might be quite happy just pottering along yourself, playing around with things on the computer or on the piano, and that's fine. It's not essential to be taught. And I think it's quite common today for people to get obsessed about taking things to extremes. Like, you saw the bread making vlog the other day. I'll put a link up here if you didn't see that one. I'm not a big expert bread maker, it's something I enjoy doing here and there. But I was looking at kind of online forums about bread making afterwards, and it's one of those areas where people get obsessed by it, and people are making these really weird sourdoughs, like someone made a blue cheese sourdough. And I was thinking, why do people take things to such extremes all the time? Like, why can't you just learn to bake a nice loaf of bread and then go and do something else? So you might be very pleased with what you're writing, and you might want to just go and do something else, like watch birds or ride monster trucks. But in this video, I'm going to assume that you want to get better. So if that's the case, then the second question I think to ask yourself is, what can you learn by yourself? And there is so much that you can do on your own. And in a sense, 2018, it's never been this good if you want to try and figure stuff out by yourself. And in particular, I think there are 3 great things that you can do. First of all, YouTube tutorials. Depending on what you want to do with music, particularly like the music production side, the technical stuff, if you want to kind of do electronic stuff on computer, then there is an absolute ton of tutorials out there that you can get stuck into. But if you want to get better at composing, you need to open your mind to everything that you can about music, about composing, different styles, any style you like, different aspects of music history. Again, YouTube's a great resource for that, although some stuff is better than other stuff, but also just Wikipedia is your friend. Listen to lots of different stuff, look it up, and follow the links through on Wikipedia, like who is this person, what did they listen to, and then listen to that music, and then keep going, just following links through Wikipedia, and then look at the scores, look how they did it, try and figure out how pieces work. Go on to IMSLP, download scores. Even if you can't get to a library, there is so much you can get. So just try and suck up as much as you can.
The concerns that have been raised. Need water, okay.
And finally, the best way to learn about composing is by doing it. If you're doing your own music production on a computer, then just listen to it, like get a decent pair of speakers and listen to what you're producing and thinking, does that sound like what I want it to sound? Does it sound like other stuff that I've heard? And then as you learn more technical stuff, you can think, yeah, what if I do a bit more EQ on this? Or what if I compress this? And how does that sound? How does it sound compared to an existing track that I know? If you're writing for live musicians, then try writing stuff and giving it to them. The way I learned to compose to begin with was just finding friends who happen to play an instrument and saying, I'm writing a piece for you. And then of course they try it and it goes wrong, they can't read something, it doesn't work for them, and that's how you learn. So do you need a teacher at all? Okay, well, part 3. Oh, bird, hello. Oh, it's a blackbird. There are so many blackbirds here at the moment and they are singing so beautifully. See if we can get a shot of this. Anyway, where was I? What can a teacher teach you? Now, I haven't made a great case for having a composition teacher in this video so far, I know. And I think a lot of people think like that. I think particularly with something like composing, which is creative, I've often heard people say things like, I don't need a composition teacher, it just comes to me, man. And of course, I'm not going to tell you that a composing teacher is going to tell you how to compose, or at least a good one shouldn't. But there are two things that I think a composing teacher can really give you help with. First of all, the practical stuff. If you're trying to learn all the practical stuff of composing, whether it's kind of music production stuff, or whether it's more like writing for live musicians, or maybe both, there'll be a lot of hit and miss when you do it on your own. And a composing teacher can sometimes just see something that you can't see about what you've done. I remember I had a piece which was being done in a workshop, and I couldn't work out why performers were making a certain mistake. And the teacher there pointed out straight away. Really helpful. So there's a lot of practical guidance that a composition teacher can give you. But also on the creative side of things, a good composition teacher isn't going to tell you how to compose, but they're going to try and open your mind up to different ways of composing, different ways of thinking. I often see this with my students, that they can be quite kind of limited in their focus of what they think music is. And it's just getting them to open their mind and think, well, for example, you can have silence in music, right? Composing isn't about filling the page with notes. You're allowed just to pause for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Or on a very basic level, if you use Sibelius to compose, then it's automatically in 4/4, and I swear so much music nowadays is written in 4/4 just because it's the default setting on Sibelius. So in short, Karina, yeah, there are lots of advantages to having a composition teacher. Then again, there's a lot you can do yourself, so it's definitely not essential. Now, I do teach composition myself, both at the University of Cambridge and privately. I can actually do Skype sessions as well, so even if you just like a one-off session for me to look at your music and give you some pointers, then I could definitely do that. If you've enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to the channel, because I do one of these composing vlogs every Sunday night. And say hi in the comments too, because it's always really interesting to hear what you guys think. If you've got any more questions for a future Q&A, then let me know and I'll answer them. And I will see you next Sunday.